All right, happy Friday to everybody. It is Friday the 17th of November. This is my trade review for today. Wrapping up the week. Excuse me. I haven't talked to anybody all day today and my voice isn't ready for it. It was an interesting day today. Not a lot going on in the markets. Kind of choppy. I don't know if this is a holiday thing or what's going on. There's always opportunities, but today was a rough one. There was, let's see, some wins and some losses. We're going to start with oil. So let's go to that chart. Let me pull that over for you. Whoop. Here we go. We'll try and keep this one a little bit shorter because I've got a lot going on today. So this is funny. If you watch my videos last 2 days, I haven't seen my executions show up in oil, and for some reason they started to today. Really strange. Okay. So the first, let me switch to the 5-minute chart. The inside bar for session 1 made an appearance. So my strategy coming into today was, after getting burned by oil pretty badly yesterday, I wanted to take a break from it today. Not a good idea. I mean, ultimately, if you have a strategy that you think works, that you back tested that works, you need to take it all the time. This one, I did take it in my $300,000 account, which is kind of this is a $300,000 valuation account. It's kind of a test account. Anyway, 10 contracts. It worked out perfectly. So here was the inside bar, the first inside bar of this kind of morning session from between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Central Time. The bar broke to the upside, so we went long. Stop loss was the bottom of this, the candle prior to the inside bar. And the target is basically a 1-to-1. And honestly, I had it... I had the thought that I should just let this go because it pushed up pretty strongly. I mean, this is 30 ticks. I think I actually ended up getting out a little bit shy of that because the price came up, it tapped the target and pulled back, but didn't go through it. So it didn't fill my order and it hesitated there. So I went ahead and I think my target was at 80 or at 30, 74.30. I got out at 74.28. So I left 2 ticks on the table. I did have the thought that, what if this was one of those days that just ran, especially after yesterday, and it kind of came in flat, dipped down. We had this nice inside bar set up and it just pushed higher. And look at that. I wish I would have followed my gut instinct on that one. I did have one other, I tried a little scalp here in the middle of the day in oil. Got 1 tick out of it, I think, for two contracts, so nothing really to talk about there. So the inside bars trade worked. The next inside bar was right on the break of the sessions, which I don't normally take those. That would have obviously worked out just as well. So that was oil. Unfortunately, oil was only in that one account, not in all my accounts. And the rest of the market just didn't cooperate that well. So here we are in ES. The first hour, what we saw in ES was kind of pre-market. Okay, so this line here is market open. So sort of, this pre-market, it came up here. And if we look to the left, actually, let's go over, let's go to the 1 hour chart. Just want to document this for future reference. All right, so if we go to the left, we have over here on the 1 hour chart, we have these like equal highs right here. And we can see what happened is it came up, it swept these highs, and then it just dropped off. So on the 1 minute chart, we go back to there. Again, the purple lines are our London highs and lows. So we swept this high up here, and then we just dropped into the open and continued to drop. If you saw this and got in on this early, I mean, that was the move of the day. It really was. I was watching it, but that wasn't my setup. And so I didn't do anything with it. Now, what that did do was it created this 9 o'clock candle. Was a big one. This 1 hour candle, a big bear candle. So I had my lines on here drawn down, waiting for it to come up and touch this 70.5 level, which it did eventually, like way over here. And I actually tried to take a short off of it, just, on the off chance that it was going to come down, although it was a very uptrending day. Even though it was slow, it was uptrending from these low points here. And so I knew it was low probability, but I wanted... The fear of missing out on this one was greater than the risk of, and it was small. It was like 2 points or something, 2.25 points, right? So I gave myself a very small stop loss there. And it was a good thing I did, because it didn't work. Let's see. Oh, there's still some stuff going on right now. Looks like market's getting feisty at the end, but I'm not going to get whipped around by that. So that was the first hour of the day. Essentially, and honestly, coming into this, I was looking to go short through this whole kind of debacle right here. And it just obviously, never really worked out. Once we created this kind of lower high here, came up here, it looked like we were kind of retesting and pushing up. So I went ahead and got in, bought here. I got stopped out here. So that was a loss. And I know I just said I was looking to go short, but all my entries were long. Entered to go long, got stopped out. So, for journaling purposes, what can we learn from this? Well, this is a signature, again, based on these ICT principles, and I'm no expert, but this is kind of what I learned from today, is that you have these lows here that formed, and ultimately what we're looking for is, we had a strong drop, so we're probably looking to sweep this liquidity down here in order to come back up to the buy side up here, up at the top at some point. And so I know there are a lot of people in one of the Discords that I kind of follow that were waiting for this to happen right here. They were waiting for these lows to get swept, because they looked at this as basically a retail trap, right? Retail traders think, okay, here we've got nice resistance. And they probably have, if they went long, they probably have their stops right below, one tick maybe below this. That's where I would have put my stop. If I got in right here, I would have had my stop one tick below this. And so that's what happens is they run down, they clear out stops right below here before they eventually trickle up. And that's what happened. So not something I was watching for, but that's what happened. I was trying to go long and got chopped up, twice in this fiasco. Okay. And then of course here, for some reason, I think about going short right here. And this was one I got in and immediately wondered what I was doing, and got out. So at this point of the day, I was so sort of fatigued from watching this that the decision-making wasn't great from there on out. And the price was just not moving. On days like today, and in general, I have a hard time when price is just melting up or melting down. I mean, you can look at this and say, if you got in, basically, if you bought anywhere and just sort of waited, you would have been fine. But you don't know that at the time. And so I've got to get over this idea of waiting for it to turn around, right? So look at this. So here's another case study. And I'll come back and review this later and after I actually know what I'm talking about, and probably question myself. But we have this high here. Okay, so this was the high of the AM session. We come up here, we sweep the high of the AM session by, 2 ticks or something. And then we pull back. But what do? We do the opposite of this, it looks like, right? We come up. So if you're going short, you probably have your stop 1 tick above this high here, thinking that's pretty safe. And you're probably looking for price to come down to, where it's at right now. But what does it do first? It pulls back up one last time to take out these stops before plummeting. Now, all this stuff is really easy to see in hindsight, but that's what's going on. So the trick is to be able to see it in real time, which we're getting there very slowly. So those were the trades. Eventually I did take a short here trying to scalp a point or two, and it was just moving too slow. I wasn't confident in the direction, so we jumped out of that one. All right, let's real quick, I want to measure this. What is about 8 points? Oh, 11. Wow, that was a nice move. Crazy. Okay, let's jump into RTY, because RTY was another one that went. Actually, this one. So here's what I want to point out on RTY. If we look at RTY from the same kind of that 9 o'clock candle model that I use in ES, you can see if we draw the lines off of this first hour, okay, we enter this first hour in the middle, right? Price enters here. We go low, we go high, we go back to the low, but we didn't break it. And we pushed up to the high again. And I've noticed that in RTY, that RTY kind of does this quite a bit. So that was one thing that I was looking for. Although today I was looking for looking for a 15-minute breakout. So I'll go to the other chart. I just wanted to point this out. Because price does come back up. And if you go to the lower time frame, you can see it comes back, tests this 70.5 level. And even if you took it just to the 27, that's 100 ticks. So something to notice here on the 1 minute. I was looking at the 15-minute, the first 15-minute time frame to draw those lines off of. And because we were below this 21 SMA, I didn't feel comfortable going long yet, so I actually went short here. And I ended up getting stopped out here. Or no, sorry. I had my ATM strategy set up, and the first contract sold at 10 ticks. The second contract trailed down and ended up getting stopped out before it eventually did come lower. So this was a good trade. If I'd have waited for it, we would have got 40 ticks out of that one, or 20 at least, right? I did get in again here at the break of this candle going short, and I held it through. Ultimately, what I was looking for is, at this point, because price was coming down, I was looking for a breakout to the bottom side. So that's why I held through this. I had my stop move to break even, got out for break even, got in again here, went at the test of the 5-minute gold line. It just didn't go anywhere. It came back, stopped me out. So here we are. Came up here, we tested down lower. I ended up getting in late on this because I wasn't watching it. I didn't come in till about here, but it looked pretty strong to me. So I went ahead and got in, sat through the pullback, went up here. I saw this pattern, and I tried to add a second contract on this breakout, which failed. And I moved my stop to break even and got stopped out here before it eventually failed and came all the way down to the red line. This would have been a good trade here. This is one I'm disappointed. I should have caught this guy. This would have been a great entry long. It didn't go very far, but it would have been better than getting in where I got in here. And I ended up getting 10 ticks, right? So 10 ticks on the first contract, it looks like, and break even on the second contract. And I think was that all? That was all. So overall today, the P&L was, it was a sad day. Fridays and Mondays tend to be my biggest red days. I don't know why that is. Maybe if it's the market or if it's me. I think we were down $600. Let's see, 610, right, across the board, with the exception of the $300,000 account where I made $22.70. So this also lost the same 610 that all these others did. So after that oil trade, I was up $3,000, almost, I think, just shy of $3,000 in this account. Or that's what I'd made on the day. So that's where we're at. So we're going to go take off for the weekend. Hopefully we can relax this weekend and be ready for the holiday week next week, which we'll see. This is, well, I wasn't trading futures last year at this time. So I'm not really sure what to expect. Might have to go back and look at some past years to see what's going on. Anticipate it's going to be slow, so we'll have to be careful next week. That's where we are. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday. Bye-bye.